Hey girl, hey, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Misha. Thank you guys for joining me yet again for another review. We are back with a brand new review for Family or Fiance, Season 2, Episode 19, Tiffany and Ayatallah. Child, it is a fool. Do y'all hear me? Baby, Tiffany, I'm speaking directly to you, honey, before I even get into the reviews and the niceties, and if you are new here and all that jazz that I like to do, Tiffany, if you don't get back on that app and get to swiping right or swiping left or whatever it is that you swipe, because baby, this ain't it. If you are new here, then welcome. I give lighthearted reviews with a little bit of laughter and a little bit of shade and a whole lot of detail. If you are back for a second or third time, then welcome back. Child, let's get into it if we gonna get into it. So they met on a dating app, honey. You should have swiped left or swipe it right or whatever you do, honey, on the dating apps, because I don't get on the dating apps, child, because this is what you get. This right here is what you get on that dating application. And I can't do it. I'm not going to be able to pay the $5. Shout out to Martin. After witnessing him, this is exactly why I don't do the apps. He said, I feel like I finally have a healthy relationship, so I want to make it last forever. No, you feel like you finally found someone that you can control. You're trying to take every bit of who she is away from her, every sense of normalcy, everything that she's been taught, everything that she believes, all of her convictions. You want her to be a former shell of herself so that she can blindly follow you, Malcolm in the middle, moving forward. So they get to the house and they take the tour. Y'all know how they do. Then they sit down with Tracy and she tells them about the relationship, right? And Tiffany was like, we went to the movies and we've been together ever since. I mean, it's just perfect. And Tracy was like, well, perfect is kind of a strong word. She was like, well, perfect for me. If so, why are y'all here asking for blessings? Okay, I don't need nobody's permission to marry perfect. Girl, goodbye. Moving forward. Ayatallah said after they met, he was looking for someone to make his wife. Okay, now listen to this, y'all. These people are on our screens saying that they need blessings to be married. Okay? Married. Honey, y'all know what married is. Honey, it comes with a certificate of authenticity. Okay? I'm just saying. So Tracy was like, well, how long did it take him to propose? Tiffany said, just 8 weeks. Red flag. Red flag. Please don't ask me nothing but my favorite color at 8 weeks. Child, I don't know you. I don't know who your people are. I don't know what your favorite food is. I don't know nothing about you. And 9 times out of 10 at 8 weeks, honey, you've been to my house maybe like twice. Child, absolutely not. So Tracy said, so what was going through your mind? She said, I was just thinking like, this is finally my fairy tale coming true. Aw, poor girl. Let me tell y'all something. Okay, all jokes aside, I'm speaking directly to the women out here. Men can sniff out insecurity. They can spot it a mile away. They prey on women who they know are not as confident as they should be. And let me tell you, I know from experience because they used to prey on me. I'm so sweet, always caring about everybody. I'm the fixer, the nurturer, honey, and all the homosexuals were drawn to me. It's a thing. Okay, so beware of men who try to love bomb you, who rush to drop the L bomb. Oh, I love you. You've known me for all of 24 hours. Okay, we've gone to get something to eat at the Waffle House and now we're here. Like, let's get into it as we gonna get into it. But you don't love me. Okay, so you have to be very leery of men like that. I just don't see how your emotions go from 0 to 100 real quick. Honey, that's just a side note because child, this right here is a mess. So then Tracy asked them about the family and friends that were coming. Tiffany said, yeah, that's the problem. Okay. My mom lives basically next door and we're always together, but he didn't include her when he was trying to propose to me. Girl, because he don't know her. He don't know you. It was 8 weeks. That was almost 2 years ago. I was like, wait a minute. So you got engaged in 8 weeks, but he was in no particular rush to actually get married. It's been 2 years later. Like, how does that work? Oh, okay. Let's continue. Moving forward. As far as the blending of the families, her son wasn't really feeling him. I wonder why, child. I wonder why. He wants more kids and she doesn't. He said that he's never lived with his kids, so he wants a chance to be a full-time father. No, he wants a chance to be a full-time cult leader. He wants to raise up these minions in the way that they should go. Okay, child, please. I do commend him for wanting to live in the household with his children, but yeah, you can't be trusted. Moving forward. So then Tracy asked them about their religion, and he said he grew up Muslim. She grew up Christian. She was like, well, we don't really practice religion at all in our household. She was like, and one thing is, I like to celebrate Christmas, but he does not. He said, well, she doesn't really understand the meaning behind certain things. I mean, it's my job to elevate her. Sir, elevate and stimulate them edges. Okay, dreads hanging on by a thread, just like this relationship. Child, please. So Tracy said, well, what if she doesn't want to be elevated? Honey, he gonna leave her to find the next woman to control. That's exactly what's gonna happen. Tiffany said, well, I'm just trying to figure out, like, why pursue me if you knew I like Christmas? And number two, if you wanted a threesome. Sweetheart, why accept the pursuit? Honey, you should have swiped to the left. If you knew these were his ideologies, which I don't even think he got no ideologies, honey. I think he's just making up some ologies to go along with whatever it is he want to do, like freeload and not work and not have a social security card and everything else he's trying to do. You should have not even given him a chance. So then he said, she wants to involve the government in our relationship, but not other women. I said, what now? Oh, okay. Oh, child. Tracy said, okay, time out. Now, Tracy, say what it is, honey. Say, what the, get in there. Girl. Now she wants to involve the government, but not other women. Tracy is like, well, the two of you are like night and day. You're very traditional. He's not. I see you all have worked around it, but it's not going to work forever. So for her, coming is her sister, her mom, and her aunt. And baby, let me tell you something. That aunt don't play. Okay, homie don't play that. For him, his best friend, Demetrius, and his other friend. And I was thinking to myself, where's your family? Like your mom and them, your daddy, somebody, a sister, a brother, a cousin, not just two friends. So Tracy gives them their task. Same task, different episode. Moving forward, her family arrives first. They embraced. And her aunt felt like the reception was good. Now, I did too. I felt like he was smiling. He embraced them. Her mom was like, no, the reception was dry. Baby, mama don't like him. Mama, keep that same energy all the way through, okay? So his people arrived next. His friend said, when I first met Tiffany, she had an attitude. She was talking out the side of her neck, but I'm trying to give it a chance. Child, she probably thought you wanted her man. So they go into the common areas to voice their concerns. Her sister's concerns was him proposing after only saying hello and not asking her mom for her blessing. Her aunt's was their union and her mom not being involved. And her mom is upset finding out about their engagement on Facebook. So then the families break up to do their tasks. He's playing most important. He said, number one for me is family. Sir, none of your family is even present. We've seen hide nor hair of anyone related to you. And the way you behave is probably why. He's like, I came from a big family, not a family member in sight. So her aunt asked why. She was like, why didn't your brother come, or anybody from your family for that matter? He said, well, the reason is I don't interact with my family much because they're like, oh, here comes Malcolm X. Child, more like Malcolm in the middle. Boy, goodbye. He's like, I'm the black sheep. Okay. Over on the other side, she's doing the Tower of Truth, and they asked her if he had a relationship with her son. She said, yeah, we're working on one. Honey, I wonder why. I wonder why it's only working on one. And back on the other side with him, her mom said, I had to find out about the engagement on social media. He said, Mom, now why you lying to these people? Oh, no, ma'am. Honey, this is her mother. My mom would have went straight ape. Do y'all hear me? Baby, she does not tolerate disrespect. I don't even cuss around my mama. Okay, I'm like, no. Not you gonna call this woman a lie. We don't call mamas a liar. Even if you know they lying, honey, you don't say it. He said, you don't remember me asking you for a ring size? She said, well, you asked me for a ring, but I had no idea what kind of ring. Mom, at her age, what kind of ring did you think he was trying to get her? Okay, I just wanted to know what kind of ring you thought it was going to be. She said, you didn't ask me about no hand in marriage. She's like, oh, I thought I did. Well, you didn't, okay, according to Mama and her ponytail. Moving forward. So they asked her on the other side about if she's willing to give up Christmas. And she was like, no. He said he didn't want Santa in the house. Now I just have a snowman. A snowman has to do with winter activities. So I'm trying to do what it is that he wants to do. Child, these two don't agree on nothing. Okay, I don't even understand why we're here. And as this episode goes on, I'm trying to figure out why such a beautiful woman would want to deal with anything related to Ayatallah. Why? Just why? Back over with her family, they asked him, what will the roles be because, of his beliefs? He said, I just feel like Tiffany would take the more feminine role, the nurturer, the homeschooler, and he would be out doing his things. What things? Exactly what? So you want to be traditional in some aspects, but not in others. So you want her to conform to fit your way of thinking, but you also want her to be barefoot and pregnant. Okay, guys. He was like, yeah, I just want to be recognized as common law. Skirt. Hold him up, swallow him up. We are here so you can get permission to be common law? Sir, if you don't get in there and live together forever, boy, what is wrong with you? Child, y'all just wasting precious airtime, honey. This could have been for another couple. They probably knew y'all were going to get ratings because you came all the way out to LA to lay up for the free. And I'm sure you had to use your government issued ID to board the plane. Okay, just so we're clear. I want everybody to remember that. His government issued photo identification had to be used to board the plane to come to LA for this foolishness to get a blessing to be a common law husband. Both of you are lacking common sense. Moving forward. So her aunt was like, well, why don't you want to have a marriage license? Like, I'm not understanding that. He's like, the state will have some say so. So her aunt said, well, if you're taking Tiffany as your wife, then she's going to need that piece of paper. You need to take that into consideration. He says she doesn't need it. She thinks that she needs it. He's giving me deadbeat, tax evading, controlling narcissist. Okay? I'm going to call him enemy of the state. Moving forward. Why y'all asking for a blessing to do a common law marriage? This is stupid. So her aunt said, well, if she thinks she needs it, then you need to give it to her. He said, what about my needs? She said, your needs are to make sure that my niece is happy. Baby, auntie don't play. She don't play. She is the best part of this episode. Do you hear me? So they're asking her on the other side if she's happy with the threesome situation. She was like, no. So then he picks another card, and the last one is monogamy. So they asked if he's cheated. He said, no, I haven't cheated on her. They said, oh, okay, so no temptation. So he starts talking about, well, we have talked about threesomes before. I don't understand how they are so free to discuss sex with people's parents. Like, why would you tell her family that? I just don't understand. Like, I guess that's just me. I do not discuss my sex life with my spouse's parentals. It ain't happening, especially about no threesome. Child, he just as tacky as the day is long. Moving forward. In the next scene, they all sit down to eat with these ghetto-looking burgers on light bread with these oven fries. I was like, what are y'all eating, honey? Every other family had salmon, shrimp, a salad, shish kebabs. I just like to say shish kebabs. This meal is indicative of the relationship, honey. That's just a side note. So they started talking about the task. So he said, I really feel like we got a lot out in the open. Her aunt said, okay, so you have family as a priority, but I don't really think you have a clear concept of what family is. So he said, well, it's important to me because of where I am with my family, and I want things to get better. I want to get together with our families. So his friend said, okay, with the blended family, his kids are always going to feel a way about her. Same with her son. The biggest problem that y'all are going to have is trying to diminish that roadblock. So her mom brings up threesome and how that's not happening. She said, okay, she's grown, but a threesome, that ain't happening. Okay, she's not going to do that. Child, she gonna do it if she want to keep him. And the way she behaves, I'm sure she gonna do it, child. Moving forward. Mom, your daughter seems like she's willing to do whatever for this man. So it may happen. Now, I'm just gonna tell you, honey, I'm speaking directly to you. I think that it may happen, but who knows, honey? Who am I? So Tiffany brings up how she takes joy in Christmas because it's one of the few things that makes her happy. He's like, how can a holiday make you happy when I'm your Santa Claus? Okay. Oh my gosh. Is this serious? I don't think this episode is serious. Is this for real? Not her Santa Claus. He's like, I'm trying to elevate us. Elevate y'all to what? What exactly do you have that she needs to be elevated to and aspire to? Like, what exactly is it? So then her mom brings up not having a marriage certificate. So her aunt said, you know why you need a marriage certificate? Because listen, my husband died. And I had rights over the family. Look, don't even ask to marry me if you just want to shack, okay? Because that ring means nothing. Like, just date if you don't want to marry somebody. You just want to take her off the market because you know she's easy to manipulate. So she said, well, do you have a birth certificate for your kids? This is the aunt talking. He said, yeah, but the state owns them. We're just babysitting them. Okay, he's nuts. Mr. Woke, that makes absolutely no sense. Their birth certificate does not mean they are a property of the state. I bet you cashed that stimulus check for them kids, though. That's what I thought. So then she asked about the Social Security cards. He said, I want them to have a home birth and have them be free from that. So you want to have children that are unaccounted for. You don't want them to have a birth certificate. You don't want to have a marriage license. You don't want them to go into a school. You don't want them to be born in a hospital. Okay, I'm just throwing it all out there, child. She said, well, what about when they want to work? They're going to have a Social Security card. He's like, but see, you don't understand because I don't even want them to be in that. I want them to own their own business. Okay, moving forward. He got an answer for everything, but there is no way around having a Social Security number or an ID. You have to have some way to be identified in order to live in the United States. But then he said he was going to create an island and they were just going to live there, live off the land. Well, you need to go get you another woke princess, honey, Mr. Grand Rising. Go find you somebody else to play with. Because this lady is not interested in that. She wants to celebrate Christmas. She wants to put up Santa and different cartoon characters for her little son and all this other kind of stuff. Honey, this is not what she wants. So the aunt is going toe to toe with him, right? So in the little confessional thing, right? The aunt was like, oh, well, he don't want nobody to deliver the baby. I guess I'll deliver the baby. Yeah, we're going to go to YouTube University. Shout out to YouTube. Baby, not y'all going to be a midwife off of YouTube. Moving forward. So Tiffany asked what the government can do to them. He said, you know what they can do. She said, no, I don't. That's why I want you to tell me. He said, they can do anything they want to do to us because we're a warden of the state. So him and his best friend are going at it. They're going back and forth and back. The friend is trying to tell him, explain it to them. They don't understand what you're talking about. He's upset because Tiffany won't wake the hell up and blindly follow him. And quite frankly, he has nothing to support any of these claims that he is making. He's just talking out the side of his neck. All the friend is trying to do is get him to explain it to them. He's getting so hyped because he doesn't have the answers. So the argument is getting heated because Ayatallah feels like certain liberties are being taken from his children. So his friend Dimitri is trying to get him to see that Tiffany is giving up a lot to be with him. So her mom said, you can get your point across. You don't have to get that angry. Oh, her mama really kept her cool head. Because if it was me, I would be like, girl, pack your bags. And just like they did that one girl from Bad Girls Club, baby, I would have been like, let's pack up. Let's head out. Honey, I ain't got time to play with you. Day 2. They go to meet with Tracy and she asks how it's going. Tiffany lies. She's like, it's going good. No, it's not, sweetheart. It's not going good. So then she asks about the task. She said, I felt good. I answered all the questions like I should have answered them. I felt very confident. So then she asked how Tiffany family felt about him putting monogamy last. He said, well, I'd rather cheat with her than on her. Yeah, I took a break. I took a moment of silence because that is just the biggest bunch of stupidity that I have ever heard come out of a man's mouth since last night when Hotel Hope was talking over on Love and Marriage Huntsville. What are you talking about? So let me get this straight. You won't formally marry her or allow her any of the things that she likes, but you want her to allow another woman into her common law marital bed so that you won't cheat on her, even though you are only half as committed to her anyway. Okay, so it's morally corrupt to have a government issued anything, but it's okay to lay down and involve other women in your bed. Just shut up. You are giving very much little weirdo. Honey, I ain't used that in a while, but child, it's fitting for this situation. Moving forward. Tracy said, what does that mean? Yes, please enlighten us. He said, if I wanted to explore other options, I want to explore other options with her. So you're basically just playing in her face. You're telling her right now, at some point, I'm going to get tired of you, which is why I'm not going to legally bind myself to you. And when I get tired, I would like to include you so you don't feel left out. Okay? She said, I don't want to do it, but if I ever do it, it wouldn't be an ongoing thing. Tracy said, I know you don't want to, but you're agreeing, and that worries me. Child, she'll do anything to please him. He chose her because he sniffed out her insecurities and thought it would be easy to manipulate her. Sweetheart, I'm speaking directly to you, Tiffany. You are a gorgeous, capable being. You know your beliefs. Don't cower to keep a relationship with Mr. X. You need to stand firm in your convictions. You are worth more than a man minimizing you to no marriage license and a threesome. Like, is that really what you think you are worth? Child. So then they talk about the dinner, right? He said they weren't willing to take the emotions out to learn. You were the only emotional one there. Got a little lying problem on top of everything else. Moving forward. So then they discussed the birth certificate. She said, it was a shock to her because you can't do anything if you can't prove who you are. He said, my ideal situation is to live in a place where we can live off of nature. Tracy said, okay, so you're kind of close to a cult leader. Yes. And he actually was not offended or opposed to it at all. He's like, yeah, I want to have my own little island. Tracy said, yes, but you chose a lady who can't pass the citizenship test to be on your island. Tracy, you better break it down, honey. Sometimes you lose me, but right there you got me. So Tracy explains to him that Tiffany is not okay with what he wants and he's controlling and they need to have some boundaries. So she said, what would happen if you set a boundary? She said, I just mostly go with the flow because, if I don't, then he'll want to break up. That makes me sad. That really makes me sad that she feels that she has to settle for a piece of a relationship as opposed to one that she deserves. Oh, we have got to do better. Look, I'll be single forever. Okay, forever, ever. Forever, ever. Shout out to Outkast. Before I settle for something that does not make me happy. I'm not doing that. I'm just not about to live the second part of my life in that way. The first half, I was always in relationships that were of no service to me. I was mistreated. I was abused. I was battered. I was broken. I would just go along to get along. My self-esteem was in the dumps. And, people would always be like, well, you're such a pretty girl. That has nothing to do with self-esteem. You can be gorgeous, honey. You could be Halle Berry, Beyonce, or you could be Misha. It don't matter. Your self-esteem can still be in the gutter. But I tell you this, 40 and over the hill, baby, please. I wish I would waste my time with somebody that ain't worth a hill of beans. Oh, first red flag, honey, you've got to go. Moving forward. Tracy said she's afraid that if she disagrees with you, you're going to go away. So Tracy is trying to get Tiffany to see that she doesn't have to conform to fit to what he wants. Tracy gives them a task. For her, she wants her to write down boundaries. And for him, she wants him to talk to her mom and aunt and let them know that she doesn't have to change to be with him. Why would he tell them that? There isn't any truth to that. She has to change to be with him. That's the bottom line. Moving forward. So he goes to meet with her mom and aunt, and he's trying to state his case about expanding Tiffany's mind. So they're like, well, what we saw aggression. And we're wondering if she's dealing with that privately at home. She definitely is. Please do not think that that was the first time that this has happened. So he gives her some BS about him, about to cry when he was talking about his child. Okay, but that still doesn't mean that you don't get aggressive in your speech. And basically, as he was talking to them, he was deflecting. And I'm sure that's an example of how he speaks to her at home. So then they discuss with him the fact that he wants to come in and change everything she's known in the way that she's grown up. And he's like, well, I don't really want to do that. I just want to expand her and elevate her. Child, anywho, moving forward. In the next scene, they sit down to eat, and he expresses how he grew up and how kids would make fun of his name and his religion. So he started to research on his own. So he tells them that he wants to take care of Tiffany. He would die for her. He's willing to compromise on Christmas. She's in good hands. Her mom is like, well, that's all I wanted to hear. I just want to be sure that if I let her go, that she's in good hands. Child, she'd be in better hands with Allstate because it ain't no way I would release her to Ayatallah. It ain't no way. Moving forward. So then Tiffany lays out her boundaries and she wants to feel like her opinion and her voice matters. So his best friend asked if he would be willing to get the marriage license for Tiffany. He said, yeah, I'll be willing to do that. Child, I'm not buying it. But her family seemed to believe him though. A pair of lips will say anything, okay? And what he was saying was a lie. In the next scene, he pulls her mom to the side so the two of them can talk. He apologizes to her for not including her in the engagement. She said that really meant a lot to her. So they meet with Tracy one last time. Tiffany tells her, she gave him the boundaries and he respected that. And she also said, tell him about Christmas. He said, I'm willing to compromise on that. And this is probably the first time she has ever been able to speak freely the way that she feels without fearing that he's going to pack up and leave her. Girl, mom, this is not good. This isn't good. So Tracy asked about the birth certificate, and that's now on the table. The marriage certificate is on the table as well, and a table of lies is there as well, child, because this is all some foolishness. So then they asked about the threesomes, and they said they're taking a celibate approach. So you're not having sex at all now? But he said the threesome was to keep him from cheating, so I'm really confusion, but child, let's move on to the blessing ceremony. It's time for the blessing ceremony. Demetrius, which is one of his BFFs, said that at first he thought they should have an agreement, but he said, after seeing the two of them together, he says yes to the common law of it all. So did his other friend. Jayla, who is her sister, she said, she had concerns, but since she's been there, she feels more at ease. So yes to the mess. Her aunt said, yeah, I feel like you're strong in your union, so I'm going to give you a yes. So her mom said, my concerns were with the beliefs, but now I see you differently. So she gave her blessing as well. All of y'all sat here and gave this woman a blessing to be controlled. This man is not going to give her any type of marriage license, certificate, nothing. He's going to shack with her. She's going to wear that ring. She's going to continue to be with him because she feels like that's all she can get. So then Tiffany says, we just decided to revisit marriage in like 6 months. And then if we still want to get married, then we'll see where we're at. Well, child, that's a good thing, because this right here, honey, these two will not sustain if he doesn't bend. And I don't think he's bending, so y'all might as well take a clean break. But the update reads, they plan to wed in October of 2022. Still time to stop it. They continue to compromise about their beliefs. I'm not buying it. He says he's still interested in threesomes and the marriage license remains up for discussion. And that threesome will remain up for discussion as well, honey. Tiffany, let me tell you something, honey. If this is what you want, honey, because it seems like this is what you want, you let him know. There will not be a 3, a 2, a 1. There will not be no numbers in the bed until I am down at the courthouse signing next to that seal stating that I am legally married. If you can't do that, then I can't do her. And that was the end of the episode. Y'all comment down below and tell me exactly what you thought about this episode. Child, I don't even know. This was just some tomfoolery. I don't even know what I just witnessed. I understand that people have different beliefs. Okay, everybody don't want to get caught up with the man. I understand that. But if you're going to be militant, at least know what you're talking about. You're just making up things as you go along. Child, this is crazy. And I cannot believe they must get a stipend if they agree to the madness. It's got to be. Honey, it's got to be a check involved. Y'all don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And as always, stay safe, stay blessed, spread love, not germs. Peace.